Prior to becoming a chef, I was in information technology. The company that I was working for closed down. I came back to Jacksonville. I started up my own consultancy, lasted for about 4 or 5 years. But the good part about it was I was only working like 1 or 2 days a week. At the same time that this was happening, my mother decided that she was going to get back into cooking professionally. She wanted to open a restaurant. And so I told her, I said, well, I will help you get it started because I have the time. Along the way, I fell in love with cooking. I fell in love with all of it. I fell in love with the hard work, the romance of it, like having a crew, like not letting anyone down. And so it got to the point where I had to really think about what I was gonna do because I was making like really good money doing this computer stuff. Do I really wanna leave all that behind and go slave in a kitchen making like nothing? Yes, this is what I'm gonna do. That's a great plan. So I left all that computer stuff behind and went and started working full time. And looking back on it now, I'm glad I made those choices. Like, it was a great decision. Opening 13 Gypsies was not my idea. My mom came up to me and basically said, it's time for you to do your own thing. And she said, start looking for a property and go open up your own place. And I said, okay. My mother's side is from a really small town in southern Spain called La Línea. On her father's side is part Gypsy or Romani. So like I'm Spanish, Gypsy, Scottish, a little bit Native American. I guess I'm kind of a mutt, I don't know. So I decided to really research the Romani side of the family. A lot of people believe and assume that that the people come from North Africa because for some reason they think the name Gypsy is short for Egyptian, and it's not. The way they were able to figure out where they were from is linguistics. They could not figure out, based on DNA or anything else, where the Roma people came from. They finally figured out through language that they actually migrated out of India. And so I was like, wow, that's really cool. Like that gives me a lot of playroom. For us, it's a matter of, it's not only a matter of pride, but it's a matter of really, yes, this is our food. Like you ate what we made. Otherwise, you didn't eat what we made. You ate what we bought from a central kitchen somewhere else. Like there's no gray area. You either made it or you didn't. So for us, it's super important. You know, we make our own bread every morning, sometimes twice a day, depending on how busy we are. We make our own cheese, sausages, cured meats, all of our own pickles. We blend all of our own spices. We make our curry paste. You know, for other chefs hearing this, some of this is not a big deal. Like we make our own creme fraiche. Like making creme fraiche is simple. It's you stir two things together, you let it sit out for a little while. But we do it. You know, you go to another restaurant and you order something and maybe 60 to 70% of what's on that plate was made there, maybe. And that's generous. That's a generous percentage for some of these places. For us, we want it 100%. The only thing we don't want to make is the plate itself, and we're working on that. We're taking a pottery class. You hear, if you see like a busy kitchen on TV, hear a lot of talking back and forth. Our kitchen has a lot of joking back and forth. We can just kind of look at each other or see what the other person's doing, and we just know exactly what we have to do. Brian is my nephew. He's lit a fire under me. It's a good thing to have a young, hungry chef in the kitchen. It makes you work harder. It makes you fall in love with things all over again that you may have fallen out of love with. And he's definitely brought something to the kitchen here that I never would have brought. Like he runs the pasta program. The pasta program is all him. If you've ever come in and had the delicious pasta, that is 100% Brian. All I did was give him a foundation when he got here. You know, I taught him the basic mother sauces, basic cooking techniques that As soon as I was done teaching him, these basic things and giving him a foundation, I basically shoved him out on his own and said, dude, you got to do your own thing. You got to find out who you are as a cook. And he's been doing that. And he's excelling at it. He's a very talented kid. I'm lucky to have him. So yeah, and eventually, like way down the road, if this is the only location we've got, eventually I will be handing it all over to Brian, and he will own the whole thing. And I will just step out and retire, and then it'll be my turn to come in here and just sit down and eat. And that's hopefully what will happen someday. I can just walk in here, sit down and eat.